Hi everybody, I'm back with another video in my mini alphabet punch board series, and I thought I'd make some Father's Day cards just to show you the great potential of this cool little kit from We Are Memory Keepers. I am using some paper from Kaisercraft. This is a 6.5-inch paper pad, and the collection is Sears and Son. Now this I have had in my collection for about 5 years now, so 2012 this came out. So I need to get some serious destashing happening. So I've picked the paper that I'm going to be using, and I am cutting it down to 1.5 by 2.5. I'm going to link you to my first video on in this series, which talked a little bit about how to make letters using this punch board. But I'm just showing you here, really, this is just how easy it is to make. In about like a couple of minutes you can have a word done. I am also inking up the edges because I think that looks really good. Now I also have this stack of cards from Kmart, a creative brand. I just use it as the base for my cards. So from that paper pack, I've picked out one of the pages, which is a cut apart sheet, and it has this amazing sentiment which says, "You don't raise heroes, you raise sons, and if you treat them like sons, they'll turn out to be heroes, even if it's just in your own eyes." I think that is adorable. So that is so strong, and I really do hope that we raise our sons to be heroes on this world, modern day heroes at least. So I distressed and inked the edges on that one, and I'm just now trying to figure out how I want this card to look. It looks like there's a lot of white on the outside there. The cut apart is not big enough for the standard card, so I'm just flicked over to the border there, and I think that I found a border piece that picks up the colors in the green and gray polka dot dad letters. So I put that through there, and then also just down there at the bottom there, it just looked really strange. I wanted to add a little bit more color instead of just green and gray. So I thought that orange bit of cut apart looked really good. I also wanted to use, and I know it says dad, and then I'm using a greatest dad ever, but I wanted to use this little sentiment cut apart as well, the greatest dad ever. So it was a bit too big, so I just fussy cut it around the frame there, and it looked really good. So I'm just taping everything down now, and I'm about to make a mistake, and I left it in there just to show you. So I should have done the border first, so that the scalloped edge was against the edge of the paper, then put on my cut apart sheet. And that way that looks better, but then there is a little bit of space left on the outside of the card, and so I had to flick through and find another little bit of, it ended up being a label, like a polka dot label, that just filled in that empty space there. So I think that looks good now, and I'm just going to go ahead now and put my glue on. This was the card that I made, and so I did learn from this mistake. I'm not going to call it a mistake, observation, but you'll see later on how the dad should always be on 3D foam. It looks just so much better. And I'll bring it to your attention in a little while. But yeah, that's my first card done. I thought it looked a teeny bit lacking in just another kind of element there. So I've got this hero set mask sent to me by the lovely Lolly, and this little hero sunglasses disguise thingy-majiggy just looks really good right about there. And that's my first card done. For card number 2, I decided to cut out the letters using metallic silver, and so to match that silver, I decided to go with I'm not sure if you can see it there, but the paper that I've picked is like a nice really blue, but it's got teeny tiny little holographic foil silver in it. And so I decided that that went really, like it picked the silver from the dad letters really well. So um, that was a good pick for that one. I felt like I needed to layer. So I'm just now, you're just seeing what I'm doing. I'm just flicking through, just trying to make it work. I sort of second guess myself sometimes. And I try a few different things and then I go with what I thought looked better or felt better. And it's such a private thing. Watching myself doing it, it's kind of a bit agonizing. I guess this is what I do. I agonize over every decision. I shouldn't though, because I know how I feel. Like if I see something I like it, and if I see something I don't like it, then just choose what you like. At least I tell myself this. So anyway, so it's humorous uh, watching myself do this. I should learn from myself. So yeah, so I'm distressing the edges here and I'm inking it. I did end up going with the mustache light orange paper. That looks really good. I'm also using this die here. This is a hexagon die, which is one of the Bigs one of two that I own from the Bigs collection, by Tim Holtz and Sizzix, and I think that looks really good. So everything is now going to get stuck down, and I I've basically got the majority of the card here. I'm using the double-sided tape for the papers, and then I'm using the wet glue for the hexagon die cut. The dad letters were used. I used the 3D foam tape on the back of the dad letters, and I just knew straight away that that's the way to go whenever you're putting these letters onto cards. Definitely pop them up with 3D or fun foam, and they'll just really, in person, they look really good. I'm just putting a little bit of black twine there just to add some black at the bottom of the card as well to balance out the black at the top there. And I'm going to be fiddling around with this twine for a bit, so I'm just going to save you that heartache. I have problems doing that. I felt like the card needed one more thing, so I had like an old style paper, no, an old style airplane, that's what I'm trying to say, at the top there on a little tab or a label, and then I put in just the black twine on the end there to make it look like it was flying through the air behind the airplane. I also put a label down at the bottom there, but I didn't put anything on there. It just kind of looked nice, added some more color. On to number 3, card number 3. So I yep, cut the dad out. Now this is what I wanted to try. I have a whole lot of stickers. I don't know why I love stickers so much. I have a whole lot of them, but I don't craft with them. I've said this before, I'm afraid of just slapping stickers on and calling it art. I think art should be a little bit more than that. So I chose this holographic paper which has like red and gray. I think it's so fantastic because it picks up some of the colors in the stickers. And the word dad never really went across well. I always found that I had to either push it in a horizontal position or make it like like stack it on an angle on a portrait a style. So yeah, this is how I ended up putting it. So then what I wanted to do was I wanted to make this is one of two cards, one of two Star Wars cards. The first one I wanted to put, Darth Vader and his team. I was thinking of putting red on, like just distressing the edges, inking the edges with red, but then I thought it would look really awful, so I did stick with the black. But the first sticker that I used was the Darth Vader, so he's got black and red on him. And that looked just so good. I really, really like that. So then from there I went, okay, this first card is going to be the baddie card. If you've got a mean awesome dad who's just like, fights everybody. Like my dad, he can have this card. And I did try putting another layer on it. I didn't like it. I really thought that the holographic paper just did the trick here. So I'm just going to leave it a one layer card. And I found like a sentiment at the bottom that says, join the resistance. I thought that that was really good. And I've got another sentiment at the top there that shows, Darth Vader with Star Wars troopers in the back of him. And the kind of sentiment of this card was, if these guys are ruling the galaxy, then you better join the resistance. So this card I'm going to give to my dad. My dad is not a Star Wars guy, but I definitely am, and so although he might just appreciate the card, I know kind of the sentiment and the fun I had making it. Um, the uh, the A to me, after I was done, the A to me looked like it was the only one that didn't have a sticker and it was complaining to me. So I did decide in the end to put another sticker on the A, and it ended up being the symbol for the Resistance Alliance. I didn't know this. I didn't know that they had different symbols. So there's the A there. So this is, yeah, this is kind of the call to join the resistance. So my next card is another Star Wars. So this is going to be the goodies who, the goody dad who does everything and, fights the bad guys. And for this one, I used, see, I'm trying here. I'm trying to get it across, and it just doesn't work. The A kind of gets, you don't know whether to put the D under the A or the A on the D. I felt like it didn't work. So I flipped it over to this position, and I did end up using three of the good guys. I used Chewbacca, I used Rey, and I used Finn. So each one got a letter. I tried to do a single layer here, and then I thought, you know what, let's try a double layer, and it actually works with a double layer, so I left it on there. The second little bit of ripped distress, I ripped it and I distressed it, just ripped the edges instead of cutting them, and then I inked it. You can see me here trying all different types, and I did end up going with the blue one that had the pinpoint foil silver from card number 2. It looked a lot better compared to the orange. I mean, the orange would have worked. Looking at it now, I can see that they all could have worked, but I liked how it turned out. I then grabbed some. This happened over. My battery ran out, and so I wanted to show you here that I found some transfer rub-ons, and I used this one that says, Dad, because of you, I believe nothing is impossible. So yeah, your dad's a good guy fighting against the bad guys every day like the tax man. And for my last card, I totally kept it totally simple. I used double-sided, I used pattern paper, and I've already mounted it here onto my card front, and I had this old kiddo epoxy shiny beautiful dinosaur stickers from like when Zane was like 2 and he was so into dinosaurs. So I was going to give this card to my nephew who was 4 and also loves dinosaurs. So I thought, you know what, you can make gorgeous little cards with this alphabet punch board for your children. So all I did was I put a flying one at the top. I used some paws and some ferns on the letters, and then I'm also using my Nuvo drops here, picking up the colors from the ridges on the red from the ridges of the dinosaur, the green dinosaur, and the blue from the spots on the dinosaur. And this just looks like a great card to me, and it was super quick and super simple to make, and you don't have to have an elaborate card. You know what they say, the simple things in life are usually the best, and it's true, I believe it. So here they all are together, the dad one with everything stuck down, and then from then on, All the letters are propped up on foam tape. I love the Star Wars ones. They're awesome. Good guy, bad guy, dad. I also love the dinosaur one. It turned out really well using the epoxy stickers. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Have a great day.